pandemic has meant many of the regular international travel haunts are off the itinerary. To compensate, Australians are opting for lavish getaways in their own backyard. Fashion designer Collette Dinnigan and her husband are hosting immersive experiences on the New South Wales South Coast and in the Southern Highlands. I spoke with her this week. Collette, thank you so much for your time. Can you tell us about the series of travel experiences you have curated and the inspiration behind it?
I guess after living in Italy, we had so many great ideas of doing experiences in Italy, and coming back to Australia, we thought, we have these different friends who are fantastic chefs, and we're very passionate about food and wine and the outdoors and creativity. And just after thinking about it, actually in quarantine, we decided, well, why don't we give it a go? We made a few phone calls, and it's sort of up and running and opens, I guess, tomorrow on Friday. But it's really about, getting a group of people together with our friends and sharing our experiences and information and love of food and sustainable produce and how to catch your own seafood and maybe how to do a still life drawing. It's a real cross mixture. So, we've never done one before. So we hope that, there will be a lot of, I guess, just sharing and friendships form from them as well.
That sounds fantastic. And the first one, Collette, is the getaway in April, centred around the seaside town of Milton. What will people experience in this one?
We're going down to near Bateman's Bay to the Clyde River, and Ewan McCash will teach everyone, show them his sustainable oyster leases and teach everyone how to shuck oysters. And, we're not short of luxury here. We're sort of drinking Dom Perignon and having caviar. And then we'll go back to Bannister's and eat Rick Stein's restaurant, and the next day will be, you could participate or on look, but learn how to catch lobsters and abalone and sea urchins with Australia's 7-time spearfishing champion in Puckridge. So that's fantastic. And then Guillaume Brahimi will teach people how to cook their catch, and then we'll have a great lunch and listen to music. Hugh Stewart will take everyone's portrait, and the next day's cheese making class or yoga, and then a lovely lunch again. And I guess it's 3 days of a lot of activity and cooking and eating and drinking.
Wonderful. And then in October, a winter's retreat in Bowral. Tell us about this one.
That's probably a lot more specific. It's still the same thing. We have, it's about sustainability, creativity and culinary. And Guillaume's also doing cooking lessons here. We're doing lessons of how to make sourdough bread at Moonacres, but mostly it's called Talking TV, and it's a writer's retreat where Imogen Banks, a producer, and Fiona Series, a writer, will take a group of 8 people through and help them kind of format for a television show their ideas. And so I guess it's probably, I step back a little bit there and give them the stage, but it will be fun as well, and it'll be a lot of cooking as well, and lessons and eating and drinking too, but mainly that's focused on, writing for television.
And finally, November, Terry Snow, owner of Willinga Park, more than 1,000 hectares of bush, trail riding. What's happening there?
We're doing, Luke Scaberis will be down there, and he'll be doing still life. We'll do a day of still life drawing, sort of a masterclass almost of maybe whether it's table settings or bush settings. There will not be a lot more of a horse component there. We still have the sea component of catching the seafood and the cooking lessons, but there'll be drafting with bison to watch. There'll be dressage of some of the great horses to watch. A lot of trail ride bikes. They'll be collecting produce from the bush and learning to cook with it, and I think a bit more sort of song and dance. So they're all very, I think everything's very earthy and connected to nature, whether it's the land and the sea, and we still pair great wines to it. So it's about, I guess, a very relaxed kind of luxurious experience also, and very much about sharing and learning, and we'll see how it goes. But I think it's what people want. We want not just one thing, not a great hotel. I think the accommodation, although it's fantastic, it's kind of secondary in the end, because it's really about being hands-on and learning to do things, and if not, even just watching and sharing stories.
And you can find out more information on holidaying at home in the Australian magazine.